Hart and Ryung face off against Patience and Majestic. It is the TvP, so interesting. I guess this is the karma result, right? Like we had to deal with all the ZVZ bullshit last time, so now we get all the diversity this time.
Nice.
That's how I'm gonna measure it at least. But did I swap that right? No. Okay, so the colors aren't gonna coordinate with their spawn locations, guys, but I'd rather have them coordinate with the names, so we'll just leave that as it is. Welcome back to the Rocketbeans TV Archon Mode Cup, sponsored by G2A, and of course, casting with me today is Zombie Grub. Spawning here in the top right corner of the map is gonna be the Teal Archon, comprised of Team Dead Pixels, both Patience and Majestic.
And in the bottom left, as the Red Archon, it's the Terrans, Hearts, and Ryung.
Alright, so we did a lot of talking and a lot of blah 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 before we got into this, but one of the points still stands that I want to reiterate. Hart is a pretty good Legacy of the Void player, just generally speaking. We've seen him in Legacy of the Ultras, and he's performed pretty well. Nothing crazy, but pretty good. Ryung, on the other hand, is a very interesting anomaly, which is why I kind of really want to see how this works out with the Archon dynamic between them. Ryung has employed pretty much Heart of the Swarm strategies through every single Legacy of the Ultras, or sorry, pardon me, Legacy of the Alima League tournament he's played in, and he's always ended up in the finals, only to lose those finals pretty one-sidedly, because his opponent actually plays Legacy of the Void. So I'm kind of thinking if Heart's the strategist behind this, and he says, Ryung, look, I'm going to tell you what to do, just control it well. Ryung has that level of control. Like if Ryung's the micro player, I think this will work out really well.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's how they're going to do it. If you know more about the game, you probably want a macro, because then you can choose the composition of the build order. Makes sense. But it is PvT, and mostly you just have to worry about Adepts as the Terran player. But I guess the Protoss player also might have to worry about... No, is this just a follow-up? It's just a follow-up, yeah. So CC first into the 3 racks follow-up. Makes sense, I guess, since you usually follow up with 2 racks and Heart of the Swarm. So never mind. I was gonna say they might have to worry about like Reaper builds in the beginning until they can get enough Adepts, but no one really does those versus Protoss.
It's worth noting, as cool as Reapers are with their new grenade ability and all that, like they just do not hold a candle to Adepts. But Teal Archon might be just going for a bit of an old school strategy here, and it's a good thing there's a lot of racks down because they're gonna have to deal with Oracles potentially.
Yeah, I guess that's what it's gonna be. And you can afford this while expanding and still have it out pretty quickly.
I mean, there's so many things about this game where it's accelerated, timings are nothing close to what they are in Heart of the Swarm, but the reality of the situation is production should be good enough that I just can't foresee these guys getting screwed by this unless they're massively out of position, and I'm trying to figure out why this is rallied over here. Like, Marines, please, go back home.
They're really expecting an Oracle.
I guess.
They're just looking in the wrong places. They're so close.
Okay, well, I still feel like either way, this okay, they're gonna find it. 100% real.
Okay. Well, you know, if this was original Legacy of the Void, they'll slap down a missile turret, but in this version, I gotta wait for Engineering Bay. Yeah, and I don't know about that. So it looks like they want to pull and try and kill the pylon potentially before this comes out, but with the Adept here, I don't know if they'll be able to do this. Obviously, killing the pylon would be great, but this puts all the Marines out of position, and I don't know if there'll be anything in the main to defend this. Oh, well, it is triple racks production, so
5 Marines have to run for 1 Adept. How silly is that?
Yeah, but it's a lot of production. Like he has enough Marines now to take care of an Oracle, and the turret's almost up, so it wasn't exactly the perfect move because they didn't end up getting it, but it didn't harm him either.
Yeah, I guess that's the fear of like getting killed. Well, you know, it's an Archon, right? It becomes one entity, so I think it's okay to say him.
Yeah, that's what I've been going with every single time I mistake.
Although, do Archons really have a gender? That's the better question, I guess.
No, they don't. I'm gonna go ahead and just call that, but
big like energy penis. They did a Okay, yo, Lucas aside, Photon Overcharge just popped, and unfortunately, he's not going to be able to guard against this. They do have to pull the probes into this. Now, obviously, the Marines want to go for the Mothership Core, but killing 5 or 6 probes on the way out is not a bad alternative. They are going to lose the Marines, and they are going to get cleaned up, but quite a bit of damage is done. I mean, even just pulling the probes off the lineup like this, that hurts enough.
Yeah, that was really good for 5, 6 Marines. No, a bunker on the high ground would have just, made sure they had no headache at all, but they're dealing with the adept aggression just fine as is. They're getting a third CC, and they're just going into stim, and, now they've survived basically the adept time where, mass adepts could have been really scary. Red Archon has a very good chance to win this game. I'll just say it like that.
Oh, apparently bets were not open for this series, so I'm gonna go do that manually really quick, so... Enjoy the auto-follow, guys! Just a sec.
Yeah, on the 1 health oracle, doesn't even look like it has any health on the bar there. But Teal Archon's gonna go into just more and more depths. It looks like as they're getting the shield upgrade, both as the actual upgrade as well as the upgrade specifically for a depth that gives them more shield. It's literally called shield upgrade. I feel like they got really lazy for that one.
Okay, handled it. I listed the Archons as Axiom and Dead Pixels, though, because it is Team Axiom versus Team Dead Pixels, essentially. Majestic, I think a lot of people forget, because they look at Team Dead Pixels and go, Fantasy, Seed, True, forgetting there's a foreigner on that team.
Yeah. Yeah, and for some reason you didn't capitalize M. A little.
Oh, oops. Shift key hype? Alright, either way, so the bets are out, guys. They'll auto-close in about 4 minutes, but probably 2 minutes by the time you hear this. 3 minutes stream delay? I don't even know. But the Adept Shield upgrade is pretty nice. Picking up the Oracle is also nice, but the Adept Shield upgrade gives them so many more shields, so much more to work with. These are such tanky units that are so good versus Bio.
Yeah, yeah. The Sentries, I don't know, like, they're not gonna help out that much, or to see more and more Adepts, honestly, and I do like that they're accompanying the Adepts with Blink Stalkers, because one of the worst things that can happen later on is that Adepts deal really nicely in a head-on engagement. They'll probably always win, especially against the amount of Marines that Archon has, but they can't attack air. So you just start, using one player to drop everywhere, and you really can't do anything about it. Yeah. You need Blink, because eventually Potion Overcharge will run out.
Well, the Force Field is going to keep us back for now, just warping in that next round of Adepts. Again, keep in mind, resources lost is going to look a little bit broken with the way Adepts work, but catches the Mothership Core. That's pretty nice. And it's almost for free, no less. Now, unfortunately, Adepts, not only can they take damage, they can certainly deal damage, and the Marines just don't stand a chance against them.
Yeah. I like these cannons that are already placed down, just in case Blink wasn't done, but Blink's about to be, and there's enough Stalkers coming out here that's going to be okay. Red Archon just needs to get basically a bigger army. They really don't have anything that, like, counters Adepts, but Adepts counter a lot of what their army is. I mean, I guess, like, Widow Mines are pretty good, too, if they can get the shots.
We discussed this in the past, and I recall, I think it was top, he ended up getting something that just, even that extra shield damage, just the fact that there's still 90 health on top of the Adepts behind it. It's just really hard to actually kill these things.
Yeah, so you basically just want to overwhelm, which can be,
I kind of look at it.
It can happen.
I don't know about you, but I kind of look at it almost in terms of like Roach Hydra when it comes to fighting Bio. Like you just have to have a lot of units, period.
Yeah, I guess that's the best way to put it. Now, unfortunately, Adept Stalker is quite a cheap composition. They're adding in Zealots and High Templars, so it's not Colossus. They're not, oh my god, I lost one Colossus, I'm gonna die. They lose 4 Adepts. It's like losing 4 Marauders. That's something that Terran are used to, remaking. And for Protoss, it's even easier because Adepts are really that cheap. So they're gonna have a fairly big army as well, especially if they're conservative with their upgrades. They're not going too ham on getting to Storm too quickly or to Colossus too quickly. We're going to have Liberators and Liberator mode researched.
Right, so the air-to-ground effect on the Liberators is going to be kind of nice to have. The Adepts obviously can't shoot up, but they can easily... One thing we've learned about the Liberators is while they can certainly be devastating and they have incredibly high single-target damage, they're also really easy to dodge. Like, getting around those circles is not difficult at all.
Yeah, but what happens usually is that Protoss, as the defensive race, they're up in their third base on Orbital Shipyard, and they think they're doing okay, and then suddenly the Liberators appear, and they literally just like stay at the choke, and you can't do anything against it. And then they'll drop everywhere else and abuse the ramps and whatnot, while the Liberators just really have to stay in one place. So you need to start kind of getting aggressive and making sure to make the Liberators fear coming across the map, almost like we do with siege tank pushes, making them siege and unsiege. And if you don't do that, then Teal Archon's just going to be choked in on 3 bases, and they're going to run out of money because it's Legacy of the Void.
I just want to say, like, literally and liberally, so back-to-back when it comes to these units.
Literally liberal liberators.
They're literally liberating. Too much alliteration, I guess. But there was like 2 drops set up plus a main attack, but they've all decided to withdraw. And I'm curious on the call for this. Perhaps waiting for more Liberators, perhaps waiting for Ghosts with EMPs. Either way, Team Axiom decides to regroup outside their base instead of pushing forward.
You know, sniping. Oh wait.
Ha. Hoi. Well, actually, we did talk about this could have been a bug. We don't know if they've addressed it yet. Last time we saw Ghosts, 2.5 weeks ago, they had their snipe ability replaced. That was allegedly a bug and not intended. The drone was simply supposed to be an add-on to their current skill set. So we'll see if that's actually been fixed or not. Either way, the Liberators, as Somgrub said, they're really good at zoning. So, you know, putting the Liberators with their attack sort of near the ramps, areas where you know the Protoss player is going to want to walk. It can be kind of scary. As we see, targeting circles coming down. Cannot shoot buildings. Ooh, they changed the design of it. That's kind of interesting. Looks more like a siege tank.
Yeah, it's not nearly as obvious anymore.
Still though.
Oh, the storms. Yeah.
It was an okay storm for sure. Liberators have high single target damage, but it is single target. The overlay won't let me show it for some reason, but it's like 90 damage a shot. The time warp gonna come down. It's been 2 new time warps, much bigger, but they take a long time to trigger. Oh, the Adept's gonna get right on top of this army. They're looking to get right in the face of this. But top of the Widow Mines. This could be a mistake.
Oh, God, cancel.
Oh, no. Oh, that was devastating. Oh, Dear Red Archon's just gonna push double the supply. Nothing to stand in their way. No Adepts left. GG is called. Oh my God. Oh my guts. Zombie Grub. Do you have like a Terran boner right now? Because I'm not gonna lie, that was